What's going on, everyone? You're back with Jono for another quick math lesson. Today we're going to be talking about how to factorize just one algebraic term. So this by itself is not a skill that you're going to have to use really in any kind of test, but it's the precursor to a lot of the kind of questions you're going to be asked in the next coming weeks. All right? So what we are asking is what makes up a term, or what is in one specific algebraic term. And the thing that we have to remember is that multiplication is the default operation. So if there's nothing in between, if there's no plus, no minus, we have to assume that things are multiplied. So this really goes back to our prime factors and coming up with common factors. If you do need a hand with that, I do have some videos that goes over it, and they're linked in the description below. So for a question like this, you might be asked to factorize the term 6ab. And what this means is that we just have to list all the factors that can go into this number. So for this one, for 6ab, we know that 2 times 3 makes up the 6. And then also, because there's nothing in between the 6, the a and the b, we assume that multiplication is being done. So we just write times a times b. And these are all the factors that are within this term. That's all we've got to do. So to be completely honest, you could break this down as 6 times a times b like this. But just being able to recognize how to factor numbers as well as letters is a really important skill. So the reason that this becomes important is because you're going to be asked to factorize 2 terms at the same time and then look for any common things that are within both terms. So we call this kind of like simplifying, because it's super similar to simplifying fractions. So we're just trying to find a common factor that goes into both terms, and then we're going to use that later on. So we're going to have a look at this first example. So we've got 12abc and 12a squared and b. So we're going to break these down using those prime factors that we did in the first example, just to see how we can use these to find our common number factors. So this one, 12, right, we've got 2 times 6 times a times b times c, and we can break that 6 down as well into 2 times 3 times a times b times c. So again, this is one of those examples where the algebra stuff is way easier than the normal mathematics. For this next one, the 18, we've got 2 times 9 times a times b, and that 9 can be broken down into 2 times 3 times a times b. So what we've got to look for here is the common things between both. So I'm just going to circle these in red and then write them out as a complete kind of number at the very end. So 2 is common in both, so I can write that one down. So 2 is common. The second times 3 is common. The second times 3, so we've got 2 times 3. There's 1a that's common in both. And then there's 1b that is common in both as well. So the common factor between 12abc and 18a squared b is 6ab. And that's our final answer. Something that we are going to be able to have to do is kind of recognize what's left over from both terms. So in that top one, in 12abc, what's left over after we've taken out the common factor is 2c. That's what's left over. And out of the 18a squared b, we have 3a. That's what we're really going to focus on in our next lesson, that ability to recognize what's left over. But if you're on top of this, you're well on your way to being able to factorize any term. Thanks very much, guys, and I'll see you later. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Congratulations on taking some time to get better at this algebra. I know it can be a little bit difficult sometimes. If you do need some extra work, remember there are some free worksheets linked in the description below, as well as some notes that came from this video, so you don't have to pause it and scribble them down. If you do get a second, please like and subscribe to the channel, because there'll be new maths videos coming out every couple of days. Thanks so much. Have a good one.